Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast episode 672. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Fonside,
Ahoy!
and Tony Korkanakis.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers. We are live on Twitch Tuesday nights. Please join us. Enjoy the conversation. Ask us some questions. YouTube the following day. And please leave us a comment over there if you're watching. And also smash that subscribe button and like. All right. What have you been playing? I actually want to know what you guys have been playing because I think we have a lot of finishers here for Spider-Man. Do we not? Mike, done, right?
Oh yeah, I've been
Tony?
done for most of the week.
Done. Corey?
I'm in the middle, maybe. I feel like, because, like, I about to get to Venom. I don't know.
Okay. I have been trying to avoid spoilers like crazy because I'm getting this system soon, I hope. But yeah, so that's cool. So what did you guys think? Give me some impressions. Spoiler free if you can. It's not the end of the. Please do for the audience. Start with Mike. Mike, go ahead.
I really liked it. It's a little bit of a victim to this super packed season of there's always something next for me to play.
Yeah.
Normally I would have platinumed this game because it's very easy to do, but
Jeez.
I have to just use certain abilities to kill a certain number of things and then do a stupid gliding thing. And I'm like, can't be bothered to do that. So I stopped at took like 25 hours. So I do feel this is a little content light again, just a little bit, but and I don't know. I'm a little more disconnected with the traversal than the first one even. Because you could go faster, you can fly around, which is cool, but I want to web swing more. I don't want to fly, and there's no precision whatsoever. Like it is hard to land where you want to land all the time.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest gripe. Like, I can't just like if there's a box or whatever on top of a roof, I'm like, oh, I want that, and usually I'll spend like 15 seconds.
It's like
being
500 feet behind me all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm like, why did you web over there? Like, I want to land and open up the box.
But as far as things that are better, obviously, boss fights really. That's the
I heard
number
that was
one
really
thing
good.
better. And it's also the best implementation of the parry mechanic, because otherwise it's too sort of.
That's the only reason
to be useful.
Yeah. Like it's
Well,
so
they force
weird.
feed it to you also. It's like you have to these will only be like really parryable, and then it's like, well, now you can't parry because this one you have to dodge. It's like, wait a second.
But it's strange too that you can't dodge something that's parryable. Like that's like
And you can't parry
just
something that's
doesn't
dodge only.
it doesn't compute. It's like I should be able to dodge. Like parrying, there's a risk reward because you stay in there and whatever. But I liked it. The side stuff is kind of streamlined, I think, this time. And there were some in still not great. I can't believe they improved, but they brought back a certain character's mission type here and there. Even had the audacity to throw it into a climactic part. But
That would be. I'm guessing MJ.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've not played the game. So
You
no
also do
spoilers,
some
I'm
spray
guessing
painting
that.
in this game.
Oh,
With
okay.
You can't. No, there's definitely good variation in like specific story stuff that happens, but side quests are mostly okay, but the open world stuff is not improved. It's at best streamlined, I would say. It's the same sort of puzzle over and over again with the molecules and some truly awful ones too, like flying through circles, which is hard to control, or find the doors in time on a time limit with Miles, which is also not fun. But no, I think 9 out of 10 is a bit generous as well. I do feel like it's more of an 8.85 game. Again, I like it a lot, but very slightly disappointed again.
Okay. Tony, what did you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. It is. It really is. Good to great. Like if this came out when Spider-Man 1 did, I'd love it, right? But kind of like what Mike is saying, like in the 4 or 5 whatever years it's been since the Spider-Man 1, plus having done Miles Morales, I expected like the bar to have been raised a little bit. And like, yeah, on some fronts, absolutely. Like open world, love seeing like most of New York City now, right? Like that's awesome. But it doesn't mean so much when like there's nothing to do, right? Like it's kind of like it's just additional zones for me to like go and like do my checkmark bullshit, right? Whereas it's like because I did platinum this, and again, it's just like, oh, find the spider bots. I'm just like, I'm not just randomly sitting there. I just loaded up a list and I was like, okay, that's fine, right? And it's because like there's nothing satisfying about it. It's just roam around or fly around until you like see something out of the corner of your eye and then go to it, right? It's not like
and I did not understand what was going on at all with what you get doing that, the little sequence there. I'm like, what? Why are we? I don't even want to say it, but why does something look like an N64 thing? I do not understand why that is happening at
all. So again, like it is a good to great game, but I just wish they had more content in terms of like open world stuff. Like, let me see and do things that are in the open world. Like, I don't know what, right? Because that's not my job. I'm not a game designer, right? But like having this amount of freedom and stuff, it feels good because like you're just exploring. But at the same time, just like, what's the point when like I know nothing's gonna happen, right? Like, I'm not gonna see something out of the corner of my eye and be like, oh, that's interesting or whatever, because nothing is gonna be there, right? It's gonna be like a spider bot at best or a chest for like tech parts or something like that. So again, I love the game. I'm happy with it. Don't get me wrong. The bosses were greatly improved. My criticism there is that some of the bosses have like 2, 3, or 4 phases, and I'm just like,
most of them do.
Don't make me fight them multiple times, and don't like not add things to them, right? Because it's like any other game. It's like, okay, you hit them, you beat their first phase, second phase. Now it's like expanded move list, like harder timing, whatever. And I'm just like, at least if it is, I didn't notice it. I was just like, are you really just making me fight you again? And there's nothing special about it. Like, there's nothing different. I'm like, okay, man, we're gonna do this again. And then it's like, I'm walking away from their bloody, beaten body. They're like, I didn't hear no bell. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I just kicked the shit out of you 2 times. Why do you think it's gonna happen differently the third time?
You do feel pretty strong in a lot of this game. Although they throw, I also got my ass kicked a lot in this game too. There's definitely a power creep for both sides in this, which is fine.
Yeah.
Really, the most interesting things about it though are the story things. And while it's kind of predictable, or even more so than I thought in some cases, there are some definite twists and things thrown in there that I'd like to talk about, but I'm not going to.
We'll get to a spoiler cast. But the one thing I will say is like, it is easy to get fucked up in this game just because like if you get shot once, like you might as well just die, right? Because it's like you just see your health bar get deleted. I'm like it makes sense. You just got shot with a gun, but at the same time, I'm like, man, like this would never happen. Spider-Man would never get like shot because like his spider sense would like kick in and stuff.
Make
like
him
that.
move. It would
make
him move.
Well, you were supposed to press the button.
Right. No, I get it, but like at the same time, like it doesn't make sense either with like it's like focus and like you heal yourself. It's like what? You're like bleeding out and Spider-Man's just like, okay, I'm good. It's like what?
That was that's a difference from the first game and this game, because in the first game you could have partial focus heal you. This one you needed it
a full bar,
be full before it would heal you.
You get multiple bars.
Yeah. So again, great game. It's just I need the third one to like really expand upon what they're offering and stuff like that.
I'm curious, like with Wolverine, how they're going to like use what they've learned from Spider-Man and then adapt it to a new character.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but then from there, take what they learned from Wolverine and see how they can implement that into a new Spider-Man. Because like you said, you have all these games in between 1 and 2, like as far as mechanics go, new games that we have like experienced, and you don't necessarily see the jump from 1 to 2 or 1 to Miles to 2 as you've seen with these other games coming out in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard for me not to compare these to Arkham games, especially early on when you followed Jim Gordon's tobacco trail basically in this game, and you find an item in the universe and upgrade your stuff. I'm like, oh, it's Arkham. But to me, like, I was looking for something kind of like Asylum to City, or even City to Night, even though the changes weren't necessarily all great in Night, they were drastic at least. Here, what we got from like the first game and Miles to this is more like City to Origins, like not
It's
big
just
changes.
bigger. It's just like bigger bosses, bigger world. Big. It's not necessarily different. It's just bigger.
The other thing I wish was there's more of a difference between playing as Peter and playing as Miles. Like you could be like, yeah, their abilities, which you get 4 of, and okay, that's. Is it really that like? Are you gonna say you're gonna tell me like the difference between Ryu and Ken is like really that different? Like,
yeah,
and again, like I don't want them to play like drastically different, maybe, but like maybe change up the movesets a little bit. Maybe Miles is faster, but like maybe not as strong, or like he's
or
more
as you
dodge.
go down their skill trees, they become much more unique or something.
Right, because like it's just like the typical stuff where it's like, oh, reduce this cooldown or whatever. I'm just like,
makes sense.
I mean, there are certain things that later in the game make a bigger difference, I feel like, between the two. But then again, you have the iron spider thing shooting out electricity, which is Miles' thing. So that I found that funny.
Yeah. But again, it's great. It's just my expectations for 3 are raised now, so they really need to change it up a little bit more for that one. I'll be there day one. Don't get me wrong. It's just
no, it was still real fun, and I don't regret the 25 hours at all.
Yeah, the story is great. If you like Spider-Man or Miles, Peter, either version, you're gonna have a great time. You really are. And I will say this is my favorite incarnation of Harry Osborn across any show or comic or movie. Like I actually felt like he was a real friend to Peter, as opposed to like a lot of versions where it's like, whatever.
I'll take pity on this poor kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So good.
No, yeah, definitely. So and I think the villains are really good in this so far.
That's
like
good.
the villains.
Yeah,
Craven, I think, is pretty cool.
Yeah, people are a little divided on Craven. I really liked him though.
Yeah,
I liked him. I just wish he had more of an excuse than. I'm not gonna say it, but like the reason you're given, I was just like, okay, dude.
I mean, I get it. Like, as
no, I mean,
hunter,
I do like how it was a little bit of a mystery that you discover.
Yeah, I like that the unravel. But like when I was like, dude, you need some therapy. I mean, I guess that's most Spider-Man and Batman villains anyway. It's like you just need some therapy, dude. But also, like, I felt it was weird because like it just seemed like he had a country or something like that. Because I'm like, how are you funding this operation, my dude? Like, also, and the other thing that bothers me is
wealth, I guess.
Where the fuck are the Avengers? Like, I'm not spoiling what, but like, there's a point in the game where it's like, this is an Avengers level threat. Where the fuck are they? And it's just like,
they're
no.
I mean,
off-world
through Avengers Tower.
Off-world.
I saw
and
that.
Also, well, there are little Easter eggs about some things too, but yeah, I won't get into that yet.
That Peacemaker thing. It's like, get the freaking the Justice League down here.
All right. So we'll see. It'd be interesting to see what they do with Wolverine. Interesting. So.
Yep.
I have no idea what they're because you can't fly around like that. I know that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
No, we'll see. Corey, anything?
Well, no, it's more Spider-Man. I'm trying to get through it too, but I was a little busy this weekend, so couldn't get to play.
Same here. So, family life stuff.
I've been playing something else since then.
Oh yeah, what else?
You did want to mention your foray into a scary.
Oh, there's real that's still in the future. Like I said, it was the victim of just having so many games to play right now. So after I beat that about a week ago, I've started up in Phantom Liberty, in Cyberpunk.
Nice.
And I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit more than I think maybe coming off of Starfield, just the gunplay in Phantom Liberty feels really good. Like Starfield, we were like, oh, this is good for Bethesda, but now you go to Cyberpunk, and I did use an old save, so I had some stuff that was like a lot of I kept iconic weapons, but they were like under leveled for where they were in the past, but they fixed all that, so now my old weapons are like really good. So I'm there just having like weapons that like a smart smart rifle that traces like 5 people and like headshots them and blows up in like poison, like crazy effects on my guns and stuff. I'm like, all right, this is fun. This is different.
This is fun. Yeah, I agree with you. This is the way you said it. It's like, yeah, this is fun.
So I do feel a little overpowered, but that's fine. I am playing basically what was an end game character. I wrestled with starting over, but again, too many games, and I'm not too upset about it. There's more than enough to do with new side missions and the Phantom Liberty storyline. I'm probably near the end. Something that seemed like the climax happened, but there's still some stuff to do, obviously, because things are not resolved.
What happened? What was the last thing that happened?
Things are awful.
Okay, things
what
are awful.
happened is I made a binary choice and regretted it immediately. Is what happened.
Yep.
Although I feel like I would probably have regretted it either way, but yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about, because I will say one thing I didn't mention while I was playing this game. This game did a really good job of like that. Like, oh, you have a choice, and what you do here matters. Like, it will actually change how the rest of that scenario plays, like the rest of the game, literally. Because I was like, oh god, and I was just like, what do I do? I was just like, because I'm sitting there, I'm just like, well, on one hand, blah 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 blah, and it's like, on the other hand, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, ugh. And like I'm just gonna walk away for a couple minutes, and you just hear the characters be like, V, come on, V, hurry up, V.
Do something, asshole. What are you doing?
I'm like, I need to think about this, okay? I'm gonna get a drink, go to the bathroom, and come back. Something like that.
I did call something happening though, because it was a little telegraphed in a certain side mission where I'm just like, oh, this person is fucked.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm enjoying it. It sort of scratches a little bit of a spy game ish that I haven't had in a while. I sort of dream of IO's James Bond game, taking a little inspiration from this, and obviously it's Hitman pedigree.
They just talked about that recently in the news too, actually, about the Bond game. But
yeah, no, it's good, and I might even just continue to the end game afterwards. I heard that you do get an option for a Phantom Liberty exclusive ending as well, so I might try that.
All right. So what's up with Alan Wake?
Well, on my horizon, I need to play the game. It's been on my mind even since it came out. I'm very scared of it. Very scared.
What about Like a Ninja or Like a Dragon?
Like a Dragon Gaiden. I'll play that too. I might play that first even, but I expect that because it's on Game Pass day one. It's out in like a day.
Yeah, and that game is like, you need to get that game. That's for you, without a doubt.
I'm worried about spoilers in that as well.
Yeah, and that's actually supposedly short compared to what you.
Yeah,
it is
short
very
because
short. It's a side story type thing.
And that's fine.
They said They said there was far less to do in the game, but it's really concise and good.
Yeah, but also you could get lost in those side stories and the Coliseum, I'm sure. So I'll do that too, but I played Control, obviously, which was scary a little bit to me. It's not considered a horror game.
I'd say freaky, yeah.
Alan Wake, the first one, is borderline a horror game, although horror aficionados don't really consider it a horror game. Like, uh-oh. And now this one, I'm reading stuff, and I don't want to read spoilers, but like people are like, oh, there's jump scares all over the place. This is one of the scariest games I've played. It goes hard. This is full-on survival horror, and I'm just like, ugh. And then so I've been putting it off. I sort of thought about it like on Halloween. I'm like, oh, a spooky game, but I'm like, I don't know, like because I just don't do that normally. I don't even play like zombie games normally. I don't like any of that.
You lost you. You're muted. Did you mute yourself, Mike?
You lost your voice.
I lost your audio.
I mean, it sounds like everybody out here talking about Alan Wake. It's like
Hello?
we had Zelda and we had Baldur's Gate, and now we have Alan Wake. I was like, whoa, that's some crazy.
Yeah, it's also apparently in Game of the Year conversations, but I'm old now. I'm well into my 30s. I should be able to handle this. Should be able to handle this. Not.
I mean, at a certain point, yeah, exactly. Got to watch out for your health.
Those
jump scares.
So
yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna probably give it a try. Maybe I'll even, although I don't have a camera, I do have my voice. I might even try to like upload it on our site to see my reactions or go through it. It also might help me if I narrate to an invisible other person while I'm doing it to keep me from going too insane.
There you
So
go.
we'll see. We'll see. That might be not
I,
right away, but it might be in the future,
I,
in
I
a
don't
future form.
like Alan Wake. It has like monsters in it. Like I don't really know much about the series.
So
I
the
know a
first
little bit about the
one,
series, but I don't know a lot about it. So
there's a you get like dark entities that are
is
basically
it like
like shadow
Control?
versions
Is it
of
like
you.
Control? Like yeah, that's
No.
what
It's
Control was. Like that's
similar
pretty
to
much what it
Control,
was.
but
Yeah.
in the first game you can't do shit. Like Alan Wake sucks. Like he can't
He's
move.
got a flashlight
Gets
in the first one.
tired. He just has a flashlight and some basic guns. The actual combat in the original Alan Wake is pretty bad, which is funny because Control's combat is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
But this is where is going to be, somewhere in between. Apparently, it controls more like traditional survival horror game. And yeah, I probably will try this. And
Yeah, Churro, you seem to be Churro's a big fan of Alan Wake. It seems you're chatting a lot about that. So you like the first game? Have you played the second game, Churro? I'm sorry, Churro's on our chat. For those wondering, again, we're on. You can join our chat here. But yeah, like I don't know. It's yeah. Okay, it's on the list. It's on the list. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I know the Alan Wake games are so the Alan Wake game is so popular. Like I've heard so much good stuff about it. But
it's
like
just
the
very
combat.
cerebral.
Yeah, and it's but because you just have a flashlight that basically you can stop everything, right? That's all.
You have to break their darkness shield with the flashlight. It takes a second, and then you can shoot them. That's what you do, and that will be a bit of this game as well. But there's also other stuff going on that is scarier than that. So
Okay.
we shall see if I can survive it.
This is a game for me. Like I should probably watch play of the original one and just kind of see it because like I played Control and I loved Control. That was a great game, but it was a freaky world. So nothing like it's like a little bit of like a startle scare. I wouldn't say like scare, but you know what I mean. Had that little startle aspect to it.
See, the things in Control were telegraphed. Like
Yeah,
if
that's true.
you had to turn,
But
like pull that light switch, you're like, I might get like a face.
But that's
Real
what
quick
I'm
when I
saying.
pull
Like
this light switch.
that's
But
why like you guys like you said to me like oh you played Resident Evil. I'm like yeah Resident Evil to me is very like I know when it's happening. You know when it's coming like pretty soon like pretty often like you know it. It's not really jump scares for me. I'm just like for me I don't know that game I'm like is telegraphed.
There's different types of horror.
Absolutely, absolutely.
When I've heard this game keeps you on your toes in interesting ways that makes it scary all the time. So we'll see.
Let's see about Alan Wake. All right, see what happens.
So,
all right.
As for me, I'm finishing up Mario
Yes.
Wonder.
Yes. You didn't finish it yet, though?
I just unlocked the last world, and this game has ramped up. There's actually a level the other day I was getting mad at. I was like legitimately getting mad. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, whoever designed this course specifically is a fucking asshole. I was like, and I'm like losing lives left and right. I'm just like, oh my god, I need to go buy more lives. I can't believe this right now. But to tie that into the news. So Nintendo had their investor call today. So they released some numbers. So Mario Wonder has sold 4.3 million units in the first 2 weeks, which makes it the fastest selling Super Mario related title ever. So good for that.
Wow.
Because it's really, it really is a good game. And
everybody's raved about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like playing co-op was so fun. Yeah.
Another game of the year option.
It really is. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because like I feel like every time there's a Mario game that should be a game of the year contender. The gaming press overall is just like, but let's go with this, and I'm just like, but why? Like, it just doesn't have the pedigree, right? Because it's like giving an animated film movie of the year. Like that never happens.
No, it's like Odyssey. Right? Odyssey was a fantastic game, but it was up against like so many. Like there's so many other games too that comes out. It's just like I get it. Like
no, absolutely.
But Odyssey was a great game.
Yeah, but like you look at Mario Galaxy, Galaxy 2, those are games of the year, and again they're just like. Yeah, but it's not third person. It's not it's not an adult, whatever. And it's like, okay, man, whatever.
It's not the flashy title.
Yeah, it's not like the.
It's normally like there's not a whole lot of story to them. That's the thing.
But we're playing a game, right?
Sure.
The category is game of the year, so it's like.
No, I know, but that's a factor though for most games, and it's not a factor for that one. So
sure.
I don't know.
So anyway, aside from that, let's see. The Nintendo Switch is at 132 million units as of September, and Tears of the Kingdom is 19.5 million units in less than half a year.
Holy shit! Jesus.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still selling. It sold 1.5 million units in this quarter, so it's at 57 million units. So more than one out of every 3 owners of a Switch has Mario Kart, which is just fucking mind blowing.
At this point, I should just go buy it. I'm in that third. Or so,
yeah.
I'm like,
the last track pack is like in a day or two.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, this week or next week, one of the two, something like that. So, yeah, pretty good. So then they also we talked about in the movie cast, but just for those of you who only listen to the Gamecast, Legend of Zelda movie is confirmed, real live action with Sony. So.
Listen to our thoughts.
Listen to the movie cast for our thoughts on that one.
Curious about the tone though, because Zelda has that weird, whimsical goofiness, but also it's serious at the same time.
Yep.
Not sure how to translate that.
Dungeons and Dragons, that movie had a great mix of that. So that take the blueprint.
Yep.
So.
And then lastly for this category, I just want to mention Pikmin 4, 2.5 million units since July. I'm perfectly ecstatic for this. This is the best launch and best selling title of the series. So I'm hoping we get one sooner than 10 years, because that's the fucking rate that we get them at. And that's another fantastic game that honestly is a Game of the Year contender too. Like, so many good titles this year. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
It's a stacked year, so. All right. Let's come up quick to Game of the Year. It really is. It's November already, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. Fortnite.
Fortnite. Ourselves in January.
Fortnite's in the news again, guys. Fortnite.
Why?
More than 6.1 million, currently more than 6.1 million players, yet again breaking their all-time peak since Epic Games made their player stats public. So the day before that was posted, they had posted 5.5 million at this concurrent players at the moment.
So
why has this saw a resurgence?
So what they're doing is they're doing like season 1 like over again. Like I forget what they're calling exactly, but like basically the OG Fortnite or something like that. So I guess I don't play Fortnite. This is just all knowledge I have from just osmosis of gaming stuff. But the island where players fight, Fortnite or whatever, has changed up over the seasons to make it, interesting and stuff like that. And we're like 6 seasons in or 5 seasons in, whatever. But before the next season launches, they're like, oh, we're gonna do like a half season, and it's gonna be throwing back to the first season of the island. So like it's like, oh, go revisit the island how it used to be originally and stuff like that. And just like nostalgia for everything else, people are like, yeah, I want that. I miss OG Fortnite, right? Like I miss that. So yeah, it's back in the conversation again. Apparently there were queue times to join a game, which is insane to think about. Like
in this game, wow, that is insane.
Because usually every other game I've ever played that has a battle royale mode, it's like you press like join and it's like, okay, you're in a lobby like right away, right? It's like, okay.
Yep. All right. Let's see. That's good for them. Let's see. Ubisoft laying off 124 employees. That's worldwide. It looks like a lot of IT people. They updated this article. Nothing production team related. Thanks IT World, killing our IT World guys. More layoffs for that, but it does seem to not be at least developers. But
the thing is, like in my opinion, like you're still. If you work on games in any capacity, you're a developer, right? It's just not. You might not be part of like the content pipeline, right?
Sure.
Because when you're dealing with games as a service, like these live service games, like you need IT, right? Like just like you need QA. QA people are part of the dev team. Like you are contributing to making the game working and running as expected. So even though it might not be like an artist or a programmer, like that is going to hurt. Like if they're firing off IT people, my assumption there is that their live service games are probably not doing too well, and they're cutting back on that.
Their comment was better positioning themselves for the future. The most
anytime they say that, I mean, this just goes back to the
Sony
Sony thing, right, from last week
absolutely
with Bungie. It's just, it's sad. It's fucking sad in a day and age where we have so many great games coming out. all these companies are posting like record profits, and they're like, yeah, we need to lay people off.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Fuck Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's corporate greed. Speaking of that, let's merge this into Microsoft from last week. After the podcast, apparently, I think it was Wednesday last week they did this. They started showing a full screen pop-up for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 when you boot up the Xbox. You get like an ad when you boot up your Xbox. You got that. I didn't even boot my Xbox up to see this, but
I got off Starfield just in time, I think.
Yeah, no, pretty sleazy of them actually. Like to.
And this is what I said. I criticized the Xbox interface when I had the Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this interface is mostly ads. Like the ads are like 90% of the screen, and like the disc I have inserted is like this one square. I'm like, why? This is absurd.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely absurd. And don't get me wrong, like Sony has the same thing where if you hover over the PlayStation Store icon, like you're gonna see like upcoming or the hottest games or whatever. That's fine. But like if I boot up the console and the first thing you show me is an ad, fuck off.
Ad for a game, yeah.
Fuck
Especially
off.
a game that they just spent so much money on this company, and the first thing you do is advertise for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, oh, come on, guys. I mean, that's
fuck
you
that.
know. So, all right.
And you know the other thing that kind of bothered me too is Phil did another fucking interview, or I'm sorry, I think it was actually Mike Ibarra did an interview that he said, "Oh, now that we're under Phil and Microsoft, I think we're gonna get a chance to, you know, do a lot of stuff we, you know, weren't able to do while under Activision Blizzard, you know, or Activision."
Yeah.
What gave him that idea? Like
I don't know, and that's my exact point because Phil said something too. But I'm like, so wait, you're saying Activision or Blizzard's gonna be free to explore whatever games they want. So then, what the fuck is Rare doing? Rare doesn't want to do anything with their catalog of games, and you've owned them for 20 years now.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. There's no there's no selling point there because you cannot convince me they allow their companies to do what they want. There's no way there's freedom of this.
Yeah,
they have game machines. They basically, you do Halo, you do Forza, you do Gears.
Yep.
And that's what they do. They find a franchise and then they milk it.
Oh,
and that's all they've done so far.
Yeah. And speaking of Gears, did you see Cliffy B wants Gears? Or we might have talked about this last week.
I don't know.
I forget. I'm getting some deja vu, but apparently Cliffy B was like, "Yeah, Gears of War should be rebooted," and I'd love to be a part of that. I'm just like, Cliffy B, you're so fucking irrelevant these days. Shut the fuck up.
I do follow him on Twitter. I get his occasional
oh god, why
controversial takes.
Why?
I like his controversial because I like to laugh about the controversial takes. It's funny. That's all. Like I don't comment on his stuff. It's just because he'll make a comment and it's just
he's not in the industry anymore, is he?
What's that? No, he's not.
No,
he's
not
not
in
like
the industry anymore.
Bombed like two games in a row.
Yeah, Wall Breakers was his last one. Like bombed. But he like makes.
No, and then they had that Battle Royale ripoff, the 80s.
I thought that's what that was. That's not what that was. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that was more of a.
Wall Breakers was like Overwatch.
Game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he had two that bombed, and like I don't know. He just makes such comments. You're just like, dude, you are gonna get slammed, and I'm just like, I'm there for that. So, but all right. What else do we have? Last, did you guys know it was N7 Day today? Does that mean anything anymore?
Yeah. Fuck them. They laid off some people too. Apparently last month. Bioware.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Bioware?
Yeah, and what was it? The people that were fired are actually suing them for like lack of adequate compensation and severance package or something like that.
Wow.
So a lot of people are actually staying in solidarity with the employees, that were let go. Because I think it was like severance or something like that day instead or something like that. So
I mean, they don't do anything like they used to. I mean, there's shitty
and I'm sorry, I said this years ago. I said Bioware is fucking relevant. The Bioware of today is not the Bioware that it was 10, 15 years ago. And it's still
amazing
true.
How far you've fallen. How far they've fallen, right?
Like, does anybody here care? Like, I know Mike, like Mass Effect. Maybe?
I want a good
you wanted it a couple years
I mean,
ago?
when a game comes out, I'll care, but
they
I don't
didn't even
think
show. There's no
game's
title
coming anytime soon.
They don't show you. There's like it was a CG trailer of just a person walking. It's got nothing to do with the game. It could be anything.
It does say N7 on the.
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with it. It's just, Churro. Thank you, Churro in the chat. Churro in the chat. We all want a good Mass Effect game again. We do. Listen, this podcast. I know. Tony's done with it. If you missed those, we all okay. 3 out of 4 podcasters want a good Mass Effect game again.
Why? There's so many good games to play. What are you missing from
What are you missing from nostalgia? Like going back to those games, we talked for hours.
Shepard. This is my favorite store.
But his story is done. Shepard's story is done.
I know, but
It doesn't need to be.
But those 3 games instilled so much conversation and such great time.
I mean, the second one
and other games are doing that nowadays.
But the universe is so fun because of that. It's like that universe was so great. The style of game.
Yeah?
Nobody's done.
Did you play Andromeda?
No.
Why not?
I liked it enough.
You had it. You had a new Mass Effect game. Why didn't you play Andromeda?
That didn't have the companion
How do you
interest
know?
that I had. Like
How do you
that
know?
game, because I did play the first 4 hours of that game. Yes, I did.
Oh.
When you
So what happened? The game was bad.
It was bad.
Okay.
It doesn't mean they can still make a good one.
Why do you believe that? Why do you believe they can make a good Mass Effect game?
I don't know.
Who is there, Jim? Who is there that still can make a good Mass Effect game? I know you want it, but there's nobody there that's left.
I'm a hopeful person, Tony.
I know you will. I know you are. And I'm trying to tell you, there's nobody left at Bioware that can make a good Mass Effect game.
Stop it. You're killing me.
I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Maybe.
Who knows
maybe
who
that
these people
new
are?
generation of game developers excited for Mass Effect.
That was Andromeda. That was Andromeda.
No, I understand, but they're going back to getting rid of Andromeda because it didn't work.
Oh, you know what? I'll be fair. I'll play devil's advocate. Why don't we see how the next Dragon Age game comes out first?
No,
right?
I don't want to base it on Dragon.
That's not coming out. That's never coming out.
It's not coming out.
Well, Mass Effect is even farther away then, so you need Dragon Age to come out before Mass Effect comes out.
Until I get more from the Mass Effect than these CG trailers, I don't believe it even exists. So, I'm at that point in my life where I know this. You're not going to fool me on this. So, but that being said, I still want a Mass Effect.
What about Anthem? Why don't you play Anthem?
I did try Anthem. It was bad.
Oh, so that was bad. Wow. Wait a second. Hold on a minute.
It doesn't matter.
Two bad games in a row.
I still want it.
Holding out hope though. That third one. Third time's a charm. We got
fourth
gotta
time
believe, Tony. Gotta believe.
No, you don't. You don't.
We're also talking about now. This is also like 7 years ago. Like all those people are probably gone too.
Yeah. So there's nobody with talent or experience anymore.
Who knows who's there?
Talent? They might. You don't know who's working there.
I am telling you, all those people left.
Good. That's a good thing.
They still have a blueprint for what makes a good game there. And
the idea of what that game was, the first 3 games, except for the ending of the third one, it's so the companion interest, the stories you get from that, the adrenaline that you got from playing that game, and then the conversations you can have with your friends about that and all the different experiences.
Okay, wasn't that slot just filled by Baldur's Gate?
Sure, absolutely it was, but it's not Mass Effect. I want that.
Right, the blueprint gave us Andromeda, Jim.
What's that?
Churro said that the blueprint is what gave us Andromeda.
And Anthem.
I'm not saying they've done it yet.
I thought Andromeda was fine. It wasn't as good as the other ones, but it was fine.
I still believe it can be done. I still believe it.
No, I mean, I like the world. I think the world is interesting. So I don't necessarily say you should kill off Mass Effect, but I don't disagree that there are a ton of other games.
To this day, the Wi-Fi in my house is called Mass Relay. To this day, it's Mass Relay.
Yeah.
So it's was such a great franchise that
it was. Yes,
so far.
It was.
I'm not done with it. I'm not done with it. I want to go.
Let go. Move on.
No. It's not dead.
Okay, so you just want to have your hopes high for years on end.
No, high.
Like, Jim, look at this shirt.
Wait a minute now.
Hope, giant shit.
Listen, there are enough games to play in the meanwhile. You don't need to focus on it, but when it comes, inevitably.
Great timing. Like, listen, I'm not going to say my hopes are high, Tony, but I do believe I do hope that they've made a good game. I'm not expecting a great game, but I really would love it. I would love it.
You know what this conversation sounds like when I told you guys to just give up on DC. I'm sorry, like I told you guys to give up on DC right after Justice League, and you guys like, no, we'll hold on hope. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
here we are. Like, what? How long has it been since Andromeda? 6 years? When did that launch?
Longer than that. Longer
7?
than that.
Has it been longer? Oh, wow.
Let me see. I'm going to look this up while we're talking, but...
I don't feel like it's been 7 years.
I feel like it might have been Andromeda.
By now.
Come on.
It's been a while.
Came out in 2017.
Oof.
So
6 years.
Just about
6 years. So, well, yeah, it's not happening, but it might.
It's not happening. but it might.
Well,
so you're telling me there's a chance?
Eventually.
That's the meme. Yes,
there's a 1%
more like 1
chance.
And I will live. I live for that one. I live for that one.
Okay, Jim.
So I hope so.
All right.
Hail Mary. Hail Mary time.
Yeah. So. But yeah, N7 Day makes me angry now. I will admit that. Every time it's N7 Day, I'm just like, man, it is just not the same. It is not fun. It is not.
Birthdays celebrate on N7 Day.
Yeah, it's true.
My niece's birthday is today.
Yeah, my stepdaughter. Yeah. So N7, but yeah, whatever. All right, I got nothing else in the news, guys. What do you got? Anything else? No. I'm gonna end on this down note of you guys Tony trouncing my hopes and dreams. So
I just want you to accept the truth. I just want you to accept the truth.
Chat, by the way. Churro, thanks for your help in chat. You're not even helping.
Right? You have to press L3 and R3 to accept the truth. I need you to hit those buttons.
No, I mean,
but the truth just leads you to the same result, no matter what the truth you decide.
If I know anything about like IT and how to fix things, just turn them.
What color truth are you gonna take, Jim? Which color?
Just restart it. Just restart it.
Did you play Cyberpunk?
No, I have not yet. So maybe that could fill that void. Does it have great companions?
Yes.
That you want to like?
Yes. Yes.
It's not quite that level. It's not quite that level. But,
I would argue there's fewer companions, but I think on average they're better than the average Mass Effect companion.
They're not really companions, though. They're people you call and sometimes come along for very specific missions.
What would you call that then?
Control them or outfit them. They're not like part of a party.
They're companions then.
That's companion.
They're not part of a
party. What
word
word would you use, Mike?
But then
they're characters.
They're characters that I can't get you engaged with.
You can't take them around wherever you go.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that.
That's what when I hear companion, that's what I think of in a video game.
That's your personal definition. That they're absolutely companions.
There's party members and then companions. They could be mutually exclusive, but they also the same.
Now I'm lost. What is
I have the Bethesda definition is in my head of a companion. A companion character is a character you can recruit and follow around. You can share stuff. You can outfit them, give them weapons, and maybe even direct them to do stuff. That's a companion. You don't have that in Cyberpunk.
Party member, then, is it the same thing?
Party member. Yeah, it's just there's multiple.
Okay, but I'm so lost what we're talking about at this point. Now I'm completely gone. I have no idea. So
characters in Cyberpunk.
Try Cyberpunk, Jim. Sounds like that might feel that futuristic.
It won't because it's not Shepard and
you're not getting Shepard in the new one.
There's a little bit of that in Starfield.
Shepard is done.
What's her name? Liara, right? It's gonna be Liara or something.
It's fine. But as long as I get that feeling like of that world again, and the combat was great. Remember the third one? He was such a controversial ending. That was great.
No, it wasn't.
I like the multiplayer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me run through the Mass Effect 3 gameplay loop. Oh, you need to hack this terminal. You send one of your companions over to do it, while you and your other companion just fucking mow down fucking endless enemies. And that was the gameplay.
Yeah, you can tell them where to go too.
Yeah, you could direct them to do special abilities.
Who fucking
choose their
cares?
weapons. You float people. You can create barriers.
Matter. Who fucking cares?
Oh. Okay, let's not play games anymore. I don't know what that means. Who fucking cares?
It didn't matter. There's like no challenge in Mass Effect.
Nothing matters.
There was a challenge. There was a challenge in Mass Effect.
What was the challenge in Mass Effect? Not getting bored.
Overrun.
Not getting bored from mining the planets.
You've forgotten the game. No, that was bad. But you've forgotten like the gameplay loop of
just walking around the Citadel, hoping you overhear a conversation.
Tony was one of those Omnigel evangelists who loved the first game's convoluted RPG stuff, then was upset where it became more of a shooter.
Yeah,
he was always about this.
Yeah,
and
first one for all its jank was the best one.
Second and third.
2 had the best highs of the story, absolutely.
Yeah, 2 was better.
2 was obviously the best story.
Yeah, 3 was just fucking press A to see cool stuff happen. Who fucking cares?
Playing a game, you played it. See cool stuff happen.
That's because I took all your guys' advice and played through the fucking 2 games before it.
You loved the first 2 games.
No, I did. I did. I loved those first 2 games, and the third one came out, and I was like, what the fuck did I just play?
Yep.
Well, I mean, we couldn't predict the future.
No, I know, but I was just like,
yeah, I know. All right,
Her game was good until the end.
let's wrap it up. All right. That's going to end this Gamecast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're live on Twitch Tuesday nights. Join us on YouTube as well.
2023 is talking about Mass Effect 3.
Yeah. Let's call it
N7 Day. There we go.
Thanks, N7 Day. We'll see you guys next week. Not N7 Day. We're out.
Mass Effect always has some of our best